bringing you entertainment to your ears. And I'm joined with the man himself, Gen3ric. He's with me right now. What's good, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you, man. Before we go any further, how's the family? How are you holding along through this pandemic we in?
Man, everything's good, man. I just had a baby last year during the pandemic, which is pretty crazy, but everything's good, man. The fam's good. Everything's been going good, man. I appreciate you asking.
Appreciate you, man. I'm glad everyone's doing all right. Considering how this pandemic has affected all of us, especially musicians, local artists,
Right.
independent artists that usually relies on the performing, not being able to perform in crowds for a while. And while things have been back opening up for quite some time, some artists have still a bit hesitant to get back and perform, which is understandable. And, all we can do is hope for the best, man. And hopefully we eventually get back on track for real. Um, so I've been listening to your music for a couple of years. Um, I've been following you and your label. And actually, I've heard of you guys through a mutual friend. He's a hip hop artist himself. He goes by the name of Idolize of the Kentucky
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Villains. And I'm a member. I think y'all had a show at Lexington, Kentucky at Al's Bar. And
Man, that's
that
been a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely a long time ago. I don't necessarily remember who performed on behalf of the group that night, but that's how I heard of y'all through him, and I've been following y'all music ever since, man. So shout out to everyone at MPP, man, doing their thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a lot of years since we've been to Al's Bar, man. That was myself, and back then I was going by E-Dub, and that was Nova D and Matt the Tat, man. We were a group called State of Mind back then. That's been a while.
Mm. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I was definitely at that show that night. I don't think we got the talk face to face, but we was in that same building that night. So at least I got a
Okay.
glimpse of what y'all all about and what y'all bring to the game, and y'all doing some big things, man. We're definitely gonna talk to about your label in just a bit, but let's talk to you. How did you get started into hip hop, man? What made you want to do this?
Man, I've been writing songs, basically poems at first since I was like 8 years old. I've just always enjoyed writing. Uh, and as far as rapping goes, man, I was in a pretty dark place when I was like 18, 19 years old. And my homie Nova D had a studio, and he just told me to come through one day, man, and I wrote a verse with him, and that's basically what started it, man. And most of the papers started in my homeboy, my partner, actually, my CFO's closet. 11 years ago, we was just rapping in the closet, and I've been just going hard ever since, man. Just trying to make this a reality. I've always enjoyed hip hop music. I love writing, and I've just always kind of been attached to it.
Awesome, man. So, who's some of the artists, whether it's mainstream or maybe local or independent wise, that inspired you as far as being an artist?
Man, the first rap album I ever had as a kid, like my uncle used to go get me these bootleg CDs, and I had that Too Short Get In Where You Fit In album. I think I was like 5 years old. You know what I mean? And I remember just listening to that album and just like being so involved in the stories, not really knowing what he was saying because he was talking about girls and all that stuff, but just loving the instrumentation of it and everything like that. And going from that point, you had the Chronic and all the old school hip hop, but really, what made me really want to rap, and it sounds super cliche because I'm a white rapper, but it was Eminem. But just my lifestyle as a kid was really hectic, like he talked about, and from that point forward, I used to just write little cover songs to Eminem records and all that. And that's really what started it, is just being able to write that type of super struggle rap, hearing it going through.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers is, that was, I'll never forget his early upbringing. I mean, when Dr. Dre took a chance on this white guy from Detroit, Michigan, and so many people laughed at it. Like, this dude ain't gonna be no
Right.
big star, and he wasn't gonna be, you know, anything. And boy, did Eminem prove him right. Like, just
Right.
or in this
Yeah.
case, proved the doubters wrong. Just one of the biggest names in hip hop, and he went through his ups and downs like everyone else, but he's still going, out there, and and he still loves the craft. He loves he still has it in his blood, and some people move on to other things, but Marshall, man, and being able to gel with some of today's rappers is like, okay, he still got it, man. Like, I'm never gonna get tired of listening to an Eminem album, especially the old
Yeah, me
stuff.
neither, man. Yeah, he's
Um,
timeless, man.
the I used to play the heck out of the Eminem show, a lot.
Right.
Um, I think me and my cousin, we played that like a soundtrack while we was playing video games. It was literally a
Right. Yeah.
soundtrack, and we had the explicit version. So there were some words that my parents and non-rap family members was like, no, boy, but we
Right.
like this man, and he's that dude. So he's truly amazing, I like Too Short. Just the longevity, still going. He had the verses with E40, and that was
Yeah,
just
that was dope.
that was a trip down memory lane. That was for the Bay. That was to get hyphy, and
Right.
that was big. So big up to Swiss Beats and Timberland for making that happen. Actually showing love to the West Coast. Because I was like, where the West Coast battles at, man? There's some West Coast guys that I think would like to see. And sure enough, they were there. Um, so you got a label that I was talking about earlier. It's called
Yeah.
Mostly Paper Productions. Um, Out of the Bowling Green and Owensboro areas. Bowling Green, more specifically. How did Mostly Paper Productions got together? How did that came to be?
I mean, for years, it was just something we read. You know what I'm saying? Like a Wiz Khalifa type thing, like a Taylor Gang thing. I told everyone it was a label, but it was basically a team of guys with the same goal in mind. You know what I mean? And we really just did everything we could to get noticed by people. And just recently, within the last year, we put everything on paper and made everything legal as far as that goes. And now we've just been able to sign artists to booking deals and talent representation deals and record deals. And man, we're just kind of taking off more than I ever expected. When you start rapping, you hang out with your friends, you might smoke and drink a little bit. And it's a dream, and now I'm in a place in life where everything we're able to make dreams come true for people. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm okay. You know what I mean? And we're able to just do things that I never thought we'd be able to do. And I'm really excited about 2021, man. When things start opening up, we can present this product to everyone.
Yeah, and I do my best to, show love to all areas in Kentucky. And, I live in Lexington. I'm familiar with Louisville and some artists in Frankfort and Richmond and other areas. And y'all definitely gave, put Bowling Green, Kentucky hip hop out there, Owensboro and other areas, to the forefront. And I've been following y'all for a couple of years, and to see The moves that y'all been making is definitely a good look for the city and surrounding areas, and it's definitely gives other local artists in the Bowling Green area like, hey, we see what they doing, man. It makes us want to get into this rap thing too locally for sure.
Right.
And MPP, shout out to everyone, man. So I noticed some new signings of artists being added to the label recently. Talk about some of the artists that y'all recently signed.
Man, K&S, man, we signed K&S. He's out of the Hart County area. He lives in Bowling Green now, man. He's got that country thing on lock, you know what I mean? Not so much Jelly Roll, but he's just that country dude, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he fishes, and he's got that grungy country sound, but he also, brings that street vibe to his music. And Daz, man, he's just a lot of his music is on SoundCloud, but he speaks to that younger generation. He makes party music. He makes people want to get up and get out and do their thing. And Mr. Cool Spot, man, we signed him to a representation deal. He has 100,000 followers on TikTok, and he's someone that we enjoy watching, and we enjoy seeing what he brings to the younger generation as far as trending and that thing goes. And we want to speak to younger people because I'm 31 years old. I'm not old, but I'm not young anymore, and it's nice to be able to sign artists that believe in what we're doing, that is in that younger generation, and we can keep moving and keep growing from ages 16 all the way up through the old school CWBs and everything, man. We want to speak to everyone. So we brought them on board, and we can't wait for the next few months to get out and just show everybody what we've been working on.
Also, man, I'm familiar with KNS. I actually interviewed him last year. I think this
So
was
that's awesome.
before the pandemic, so happy to see him on board with MPP. Definitely has some upside to him. Definitely guy that ready to take that next step, and I definitely see MPP taking him where he wants to be. So shout out to KNS and to all the new signees, man. So obviously, you running a label, there's a lot of artists that wants to take that next step, get themselves heard, network with people and such. From your perspective, what do you look for as far as an artist that wants to be on board with MPP? What do they need? What's the criteria as far as um, whether they are fit to the label or not? What do you look for in an artist that wants to be on board with MPP?
Well, basically, one thing we look for is, we don't have the capital that an Interscope or something like that would have, so we can't pluck someone out of obscurity.
Yeah.
So talent plays a part in it, but also we need to see the legwork in building your brand. Like, you don't have to have tens of thousands of followers, but we need to see that you work on what you're doing. And so if you want to be a part of MPP, man, you just not only do you have to have the talent, but you have to have the work ethic, man. I'm an artist as well. I run the label. We all got jobs outside of here. We work 7 days a week, and we want people to come on board that never want to take a day off. A vacation is always necessary, but you can't vacate Saturday and Sunday. We go work all the time. Been busy all day. We're taking phone calls. We're doing things. I'm talking to you. I'm excited to be on this radio show. You know what I mean? We always have to be working. So any artist listening to this now, man, just hit us up at mostlypaperproductions.com. You can submit a demo. You can get with us right now, and we can talk, man. We're not above anyone, but we want people to be able to work.
That's definitely good to know. Definitely for artists out there, it's one thing to want to do it. It's thinking about doing it. It's another to actually go out there and do it and be able to sacrifice something in order to get to where you need to be. So MPP, they have a lot good going for them, and they want to see people that's gonna, put in the work. So definitely look forward to see who else out there wanna be on board with MPP. Now, let's talk more about you specifically. You released an album, a record last year, Genetically Mortified. It's the name of your recent release. And you shot a music video for the song Grow Up. And I played that song a little bit earlier. That's a dope song right there. But let's talk about the album. What was it like recording it? And what made you decide to name it Genetically Mortified?
Well, basically, I actually put out another album on New Year's Eve called Great Value, just basically playing into the generic brand,
Yeah.
But generically modified is, to me, one of my favorite pieces of art that I've ever had the chance to create. And Grow Up is the third installment of the generically modified saga, is what I've been calling it. It's basically the death of the E-Dub character and the rebirth of this generic character, and basically when I did the E-Dub thing, man, it was a lot of bars, a lot of, underground old school hip hop vibe. And this generically modified thing, I like to sing, but I'm no singer, but I can make stuff sound good. I love T-Pain, I love Post Malone, I love artists that are able to use auto tune in a beautiful way, so I came up with the style that I really want to, mesh this E-Dub thing with the new school thing, and generically modified is just basically like bringing all that together. And man, that album is my favorite album of all time. My wife likes the Great Value album, but that Grow Up record, man, me, and I know you as well, being a professional wrestling fan, like just being able to choreograph something like that and make it come to life and just be that beautiful was just it just makes me happy. You know what I mean? It makes me happy that other people find enjoyment in it.
Yeah, man, it's definitely intriguing. I like when artists can put some thought into these songs and music videos, put some emphasis in it, and have a vision about it, and then just put it out there in the forefront, and people will miss out on certain bars or certain scenes in the video, but then once you watch it a few more times, you're like, oh, now I get it. That's usually what it is these days, because bars, it could be over people's heads at times, but once you give it a couple listens, you'd be like, oh, now I know what you're saying. So
Right.
going from E-Dub and going to generic, you definitely evolving, and I feel like that's what's lacking in most of hip hop today is evolving. Like you could start somewhere, but it's another to just you got to get with the times. I guess you have to at least grow up. No pun intended.
Right.
And get and show some growth. Not just as an artist, but as a human being too, man. Like, what's it been
Exactly.
like for you? Going through this, transition from E-Dub to generic. What's that feel, man? Just taking this next phase into your career.
Uh, you know, a lot of it came, with this self awareness level that I came into. I did the last E-Dub album I did was Dog Days of August, and I put my heart and soul into that record, but the replay value of it just wasn't that great. It was a great listen one time through front to back. But the more I started listening to it, the more I realized that the story was great, but the execution wasn't that well done. So, and then I came across E Double. He had passed away, and a lot of his fans felt disrespected that I called myself E Dub, and we kind of looked alike. And I never knew who he was until that was brought to my attention as well. So I was like, well, I've been thinking about a rebrand. This other rapper had passed, and he had a massive fan base that felt disrespected. And E-Dub, you couldn't trademark it. It was just it had been done so many times I couldn't make any money off of it, even if I blew up. So it was time to rebrand, and my name being Eric White, and just being this white rapper. And I used to wear glasses and a flat bill hat. I'm like, people would talk about me all the time and make fun of the brand, and they're like, "Oh, this generic dude." I'm like, "Well, if you want to call me generic, I'm going to be generic, but I'm going to do it better than everybody else." So I just kind of played into what everybody thought about me, and I'm just having a great time with it, man. I love the music that I'm making now.
I definitely enjoyed it as well. And so everybody go give Great Value a listen. And Generically Modified a listen as well. I did listen to Great Value probably a week or two after its release. And that was such an incredible album. That was a dope album.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely worth listening to. So go give that a listen. Both records are available on all digital music platforms. So under Gen3ric, that's Gen3ric. That's a three.
That's right.
So not to get that confused. And I think there's some Eminem influence in there. You put that three instead of
Yeah, just a
uh,
just a little bit.
just a little bit, just a little bit. So you know, with the signings that you have, and with more music on the horizon, um, what's next for MPP as far as music wise? Who from the label has music coming up in the coming weeks and months?
Oh man, K&S, man, we're working on his album. Everybody Hates Chris. Who is Daz? We're working on his first single. Uh, Me personally, I have an album coming out this year called Free Lunch. So we definitely have a lot coming out this year. There'll be 3 albums from the team this year, a plethora of singles. We're going to flood the market. We're going to do everything we can to draw attention to the team and keep supporting local hip hop the best way we can, man. We're going to work with everyone, and we just can't wait to see how much it blows up. I just believe in the brand and everything we got going on so much, and I'm excited just to tell anyone about it. I'm super pumped for 2021.
And before I let you go, man, go ahead, promote your social media links and MVP social media links where they can find you on the internets.
Everybody listening, man, you can go to mostlypaperproductions.com. You find every artist on there. Promoters, if you're listening, we have a book online tool on there. We have a shop on there. That's mostlypaperproductions.com. Every one of our social medias are linked to our artist pages. Me personally, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram at 2_Gen3ric. That's 2_GEN3RIC. On Facebook, it's official Gen3ric. Once again, don't forget that's GEN3RIC. Find everything you want to hear from Mostly Paper Productions at mostlypaperproductions.com. Hey, Kenny, I appreciate you having me on, man. I really do.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on the show. Tell the rest of MPP they are welcome to be on this show. I'll be happy to play our music as well. I got some things coming up in May in particular, and let's just say more music. I'm most likely to play some more music once the month of May rolls around. So you let your artists know, and I'll be happy to have them on the show too, man.
All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate you.